Greetings, everyone, and thank you once again for stopping by the Infidel Guy audio show, now live. I believe I'm doing my 13th episode. I don't know. I need to keep up. But anyway, we have a great guest with us today. I've seen her on television. As a matter of fact, I've seen her on the 700 Club, trying to stick to Pat Robertson a few times. But, of course, thanks to the great editing job they did, we probably didn't hear everything. But honestly, I have to give the 700 Club a little credit. They did show a little bit more than I thought they would show of our guest. Our guest today is Shelly Hattan. She is the Texas State Director for American Atheists, former Director of Metroplex Atheists, and she has been doing a lot in her capacity. She's been in the media quite some time, quite a few times, in newspapers, and she's written letters to various organizations discouraging them from certain church-state problems. And she's been involved in a variety of things. As a matter of fact, so many things that I probably couldn't read it all right now. So what I'm going to do is just introduce our guest. Thank you very much for joining us, Shelly Hattan.
Hi, Reggie. How are you doing? Are you Reggie or Original?
It really doesn't matter. I tell people whatever is easier to say.
I'll probably say Reggie.
Okay, that's great. It sounds like a pet name, though. It sounds like one of those little cute names. But
okay.
No, that's fine, Ashley. That's fine. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure, Shelly, if you're familiar with the show, but we have a chat room on the audio show page in which individuals can ask you questions.
Oh, okay.
So you may get a few of those.
I'll go do that. Go right there, right now.
Okay. Well, Shelly, let's find out about you. Why are you an atheist?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny. I think all my life I've probably been an atheist, but I've been afraid of the A word, and just hid under the banner of agnostic, because, of course, in our society that doesn't garner the same amount of scowl as you get as if you were to say that you were an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
And I married my husband 10 years ago, and we were pretty much irreligious for many, many years. We just didn't talk about it. And then we started talking about it, mainly because some people here in town wanted to know if we believed in a God or not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we both kind of, and the reason what happened was we belonged to a Toastmasters group, and these ladies were basically nosy. They wanted to know if we did or not. And we both kind of looked at each other. First of all, we were a little ticked off that this was the topic for the Toastmasters group, but because we felt like it was definitely designed to out us as whether or not we were Christian or not. So we did not make it light whatsoever when we went to the Toastmasters group. We basically said we don't believe in God, and a lady started praying for me right there in the Toastmasters group. It was quite hilarious. And every time we got up and spoke in the Toastmasters group, she would lean her head down and start praying for us.
Well, because apparently it didn't help. It didn't work, huh?
No, it didn't. Well, and so really, what made me kind of come out as an atheist was being able to seek out other atheists and kind of realize that, you know, we're really normal people, and we're very nice people, and I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and so we initially started going to the North Texas Church of Freethought. And that was really where we were introduced to people who were just like us and didn't believe in God, which in Texas, and I know you can really relate to this.
Okay.
I mean, that's like a breath of fresh air, because, I mean, your neighbors are coming around asking you to go out, hey, what church do you go to?
All the time.
Yeah. So it was really nice to be able to meet other people that were sane, and well, through that, I kind of got, now I'm going to kind of tell you where I got interested into the activism part of it. I had always had an interest in charlatan preachers, and I would go with my husband, of course. We would go and protest against evangelists that would come into town because we didn't like these people being taken by these really horrible people. So I was doing a little bit of local activism on that end. But then when I realized that I was working for a city and I could not come out as an atheist for fear of losing my job, that really made me think about why it is that we have to stay in the closet.
That's right.
And
I can relate to that. And I decided that, I'm sure as you did, I don't mean to cut you off, but I know that.
It's a pretty common thing, and it shouldn't be, and that's really where I've decided that it's very important for me to get active because I am a really good person, and I'm sort of a friendly person by nature. I mean, one of the things that a lot of my friends lately have kind of called me up and said, "Man, we didn't know you were an atheist." And it's like, I've been an atheist the whole time I've known you. So that's why I decided to go on ahead and be open about my atheism. And maybe the people who have never really thought they'd ever known an atheist, maybe they'll realize that not all atheists are these wacko people, including atheists. There are people out there who are atheists who don't even realize they're atheists.
Oh, yes.
Like I was, because you're just so afraid of the A word.
That's right.
And I'm hoping that through my activism here in Texas that we can kind of make it not such a scary word.
Well, what type of activist activities have you done so far?
Well, what we do here in Texas is, and we're getting ready to do, is, of course, there's a local courthouse, and the courthouse puts up a nativity scene each year. Dick Hogan, who used to be the former Texas state director, and he took the county to court, and they basically made it an open forum. So in order for us to test this open forum, for the past 2 years we've been putting up a winter solstice sign, and we kind of put that in with our winter solstice party too.
Okay.
And so this year we've got 2 signs going up. And apparently it's getting some of the folks down in Weatherford a little concerned. Now then, the signs are the past 2 signs have basically been a big, happy sun that says, "Winter solstice, the real reason for the season."
That's right.
And, well, they don't last very long. I think my favorite picture was one that was done by AP. They came back later, and there was a big black Jesus heart view scrawled across it in black spray paint across the sign. It just says the whole thing. Let's see. So that's one thing that we've done, and we will do again. And of course, the big thing was the atheist book covers in
yes.
schools. That if anything has ever outed me as an atheist, it was definitely this. I had no idea that it would garner the attention that it did. Certainly not from, Pat Robertson, which it was just pretty shocking, the whole I guess attention that it got.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of attention here. I really appreciate you sending me those book covers.
Oh, no problem. They're too nice though, because no one really called up the board to complain.
Oh, really?
So we'll see what happens next year. But basically what happened was there was a local teacher or a local housewife, and she had started passing out these book covers with 10 Commandments on it last year. And the school board put a big stop on that. They said, no, you're violating the separation of church and state, because she was passing them out to the students as they were going into the school.
Okay.
And so what she tried to do was get the district to print up the book covers with the 10 Commandments on them, and the district said, no, we're not going to do that. So then she did a lot of research, and the district, this particular district, and it's not in all districts, but they have a policy for non-school materials, which states if you want something that's a non-school material to be distributed, then here's the criteria. And they're very, very vague and very, very general. And so she was able to get her book covers in on that. And the whole thing is that she's the reason why she can put these book covers in the school district is because she is the one who's distributing them. The school district is not. So it's really a convoluted way to get around this whole separation of church and state. We found out when we started distributing our atheist book covers that some of the parent-teacher association, some of the parents from the local PTAs were taking the 10 Commandment book covers and going into the students' classrooms during class time and passing these things out. So it was really hard to get equal time in terms of being able to be treated fairly with the way I wanted to have the same access to the students as Ms. Wegman, the woman who passed out the book covers, and for the most part I did, but I definitely didn't get. I don't think I got the book covers out as well as she did.
Oh, okay. Is there still a conflict going on right now in the school, or
no?
No.
The thing that's so weird about it, the students didn't care. They didn't even really hear about the controversy. And apparently, according to the spin doctor, which I don't really trust what he says. Apparently, he says there has not been any complaints from anybody about our book covers. There's nothing nasty on them. They're pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I've noticed that it's comprised totally, though, of just quotes from famous people, presidents that were atheists and or deists and freethinkers and their ideas on religion. I would have liked to see a book cover with more philosophical arguments, but that's just me, I guess.
Well, again, like I said earlier, the book covers are definitely too nice. I mean, they have the American Atheist emblem on them, and there were, I think, only 2 of the quotes on there. And if anybody wants to know what they look like, they're on our website, www.metroplexatheists.org. There is a copy of what was on our book covers there, as well as further detail of our adventures.
I must admit, Shelly, when I received those book covers in the mail, and I opened it up and I read it, I went, what is the big fuss about this? I couldn't believe it. I can think of something much worse.
You know what it's because it's got the A word attached. I mean, it all comes back down to this, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, sadly.
It really does. So,
yet humanist, freethinker, and non-theist would have, I don't know.
Well, I think if I had Wiccan associated with it, I think that probably would have gotten a lot more, a lot more of a, well, we have some Wiccans, some local Wiccans here, and they're pretty active, and they're a great bunch of folks. But they are not taken as seriously as American Atheists are.
Yeah, many groups don't.
Yeah, and I don't. It's kind of interesting. I think it's because we're quick to stand up for our rights, and I think that's the reason why. So, anyways, I think of all the interviews that were the most interesting was, of course, the one that I did for the Christian Broadcast Network.
I love that, by the way.
I do. I think my favorite part.
I couldn't believe it to see an atheist on TBN.
I know. But, was Robert...
Or CBN. Mm-hmm.
Was Pat Robertson called me a liar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. He said she's just lying.
Oh, my goodness.
And I think another comment that I was saying, that was kind of humorous, was about, we had a quote on our book covers about, let me go grab a copy of it, with Abraham Lincoln on it. And this is my favorite. Let's see. Okay. The Bible is not my book, and Christianity is not my religion. I could never give assent to the long, complicated statements of Christian dogma. Abraham Lincoln, U.S. President, 1861 to 1865.
You're a liar, Shelly.
Well, that's just it. Pat Robertson said that I took that out of context, which just really gives me the giggles, because I know exactly what the context was. It was related to slavery. So, okay, let's put it into context, Pat.
And for any of those wondering where you can get those Larson flyers at, you can get those at www.freespeech.org/Bob Larson. Thanks to Shelly's husband in the chat room.
So that's been a lot of fun with the book covers. It's
well, maybe we paved the door for the Satanists. No, I don't. I don't know if the Satanists would be able to survive the ridicule. Satanist book covers. Can you imagine, Shelly?
We actually contemplated doing Satanist book covers. I've contacted some Satanist groups, and if any Satanist groups are actually listening out there and they're interested in doing this could be a lot of fun for your group, because it is an open forum at this particular school district. You don't have to be local. This is because the way the rule is written is so vague that anybody can come in and put anything into the school district. So, and that's really the intent of what I want to do, is I want to get the rule changed, because I'm real concerned that this can open the floodgates for a lot of Christian material to be put into the schools. I mean, with the way it's written, Gideons can come in and put Bibles out. Anybody can, and whereas yes, it's nice to have a forum for freedom of exchange of ideas. I don't think it will be properly implemented in a Texas school unless it's properly administered, and that's really why I did what I did.
Yeah. Well, I try to do my little part I can. Those little American Atheists pamphlets that what God has revealed to man, and you open them up and they're blank? Have you seen those?
Yes.
I drop those off pretty much in any public forum I can find. Only if there's some other brainwashing type religious material there. The Seventh Day Adventists down here and the Jehovah's Witnesses are rampant down here.
Oh, really?
So I find little brainwashing children's books all over the place. You can go to almost any healthcare office, and I'm sure really that's all over the nation, and you find these little children's books talking about, and it never explains in detail the murderous acts that this God has done.
Yeah.
In their Bible, and it just blows over the flood story like it was like as if it was a wind, and they just blow over all these horrible incidents, and they make it look so cute. And it really upsets me, and I had to do something. I got tired of seeing this one-sided view of religion. There's more to it than that.
Yeah, most definitely.
So what do you know about Gideon anyway? How did Gideon, or the Gideon's Bible, who's pushing this Bible, and how did it manage to get into all these hotels? Do you know anything about that?
There's just, all I know is there's a Gideon's Association.
Ah, okay. And
they actually raise money and go around and put the Bibles in the hotels. Any more past that, I have no clue. But I do know that one of our members of Metroplex Atheists, he lives out in Venus, Texas, and all the fifth graders at the end of the year get a complimentary Bible from the Gideons. And so this year we are actually planning on doing something for that. We'll find something suitable that we can pass out.
Oh, I would love the day when I can go into a hotel room and right next to the Bible I see a copy of George H. Smith's The Case Against Atheism, or
The Case Against God.
Oh yeah, right. That's it. That's right. Yeah, The Case Against Atheism, The Case Against God, and and Queen James version.
Yeah.
Of the Holy Bible. That'd be pretty funny.
and going back to the original question about how did I become an atheist, I read. I read voraciously, and that's really the number one thing that convinced me.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think another thing that's kind of interesting now that I've become an activist and people are now finding out, hey, Shelly, did you know she was in charge of the whole darn thing? That type of thing is coming back to me. But an interesting thing about that is, oh gosh, and I lost my train of thought. I guess it wasn't that interesting.
Well, are there any particular books that you can think of, or a book that you think has really, really opened your mind? And
yeah, the George Smith book.
Oh, okay. I actually took that course in college, at a Catholic college, by the way.
You're kidding.
It was a course he managed to write the course. He was an atheist. He's the director of a Catholic school. They didn't know he was an atheist, and he enrolled me in the course after he saw that I was getting straight A's in my philosophy courses, and he managed to call the course Atheism. So the textbook was Atheism, The Case Against God.
Wow.
And that book totally changed my life, because everything that I was afraid to say or admit to, he did it for me.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree with you on that. I mean, that's the turnkey book for me as well. It really was. It didn't make the A word so scary anymore.
That's right. Once the definitions are broken down, it's funny you mentioned definitions. Well, the A word, and we talk about the way people perceive things. Agnosticism. Many agnostics don't even really know what agnosticism really is, and I mention this in almost every show, and I hope I'm not beating this to death, but I get attacked by more agnostics than I do Christians.
I do too. We've got a couple of friends who just kind of they kind of look at us and go, "You guys are atheists? How can you be atheist?" And we're like, "Well, what are you?" "I'm an agnostic." And you just kind of look at them and just kind of go, "You're just an atheist. You just don't know it."
Right, well, neither do you.
You're a lazy atheist. You're just not willing to put the work in to figure out what exactly it is that you want to say. But yeah, I agree 100%. It just, I know that. I think a comment that one of my husband's friends said was, "You guys are atheists? Isn't that cult that says there is no God?" And
wow,
willing to say that? It's like, oh man.
Well, Shelly, in your bio, you mentioned something about writing letters to United Way and discouraging them to fund the Boy Scouts of America.
Oh, let's see. The United Way issue.
Yes.
What's gone on here is I did write a letter to our local United Way people, and let me kind of give a little bit of background information for folks who don't know. The United Way sponsors a lot of the Boy Scout groups, and
speak up for me, could you please, Shelly?
Sure. The United Way sponsors a lot of, or gives money to the Boy Scouts of America. Now, the Boy Scouts of America have been able to come out and discriminate against atheists and gays. And while the gay issue is more prevalent right now because they're more active, the atheists are also being discriminated against.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a letter to our local. We've got two councils since we're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I wrote a letter to both presidents. And I only got an answer from one president, which was the Dallas one, and he basically said that that they're going to continue to give money to the Boy Scouts of America because the Boy Scouts of America has not violated any state or federal discrimination laws.
Uh-huh. Really?
And it's just amazing to me because he just, in my face, just told me, hey, it's okay to discriminate against atheists. Government even sanctions it. Mm. So
well, if they think like Pat Robertson, no wonder. I mean, I believe, as a matter of fact, the exact same show you were on, you made reference to what about the little Hindu kids?
Oh, that's right.
And Pat Robertson says, tough luck. What about them? This is a Christian country. That's just too bad for them. They're going to have to deal with us, our prayers and our basically he's saying anyone who is not a Christian is basically just going to have to deal with our bigotry and our prejudice.
I know. That was, I think, we burst out laughing when basically what I think the context of the thing was I had said they introduced me as Shelly Hattan with Metroplex Atheists. She's against the Ten Commandments.
Oh yeah.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill.
Right.
Things that Shelly Hattan finds offensive.
I remember that. They only quoted like 3 of them that really had maybe a smidgen of anything to do with today.
I know.
I noticed that. Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, she kept trying to lead me to say that. And I didn't say it because I knew that they would use that, and so she went ahead and said it for me.
Oh, man. Well, yeah.
So what I did do is I said, look, there's the first commandment here that says, thou shalt not have any other gods before me. And I said, that's it. That's a sentiment that someone like a Hindu child or a Muslim child and an atheist child can find very offensive. And that's when Pat Robertson did his spiel on tough luck. Well, the other part of what I tried to say in the interview was the fact that, one of the reasons why all these 10 Commandments are being proposed to be put back into the schools is really kind of a knee-jerk reaction to the Columbine shootings and the violence that's going on in our schools. Perceived violence, okay? Mm-hmm. They perceive because, that's another issue. So really, if you look at the 10 Commandments and look at what it is that the 10 Commandments are trying to say, if you go one step further and say, okay, well, let's say that this person does have a God other than the one true God, what are we supposed to do? Well, the Bible says kill him. Do you really think that we ought to have something in our schools that's to tell kids, okay, if this person steals, kill him. If this person has another God before them, kill him. I don't think so. And I think that's the most ironic part of this whole 10 Commandments thing is just they're bringing this forward and saying this is a compassionate Christian thing to have this dogma in our schools, in our and in our government, and it's just funny.
The funny thing, Shelly, is that, and I'm sure you've debated a few theists here and there, when you make reference to all the violent, horrendous atrocities in the Old Testament, they say, well, no, we're living in a period of grace now, and we're living in a new law. Well, if this is so true, why the hell are you trying to push the 10 Commandments?
I know. And didn't Jesus say, I'm here. I'm not here to replace all of that stuff too. I mean, it just.
Right. I'm not here to abolish, but to fulfill.
There you go. That's the right terminology. Yeah. We all know. Yeah.
I've often heard a quote, Shelly, that, the Bible is the #1 circulated book in the world, but it is the least read. And when I get in debates with individuals like that, I see it's true.
Well, another thing that I've done is I've gone in and I protested against the Promise Keepers, and that one was a real blast. It was a lot of fun because
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you go on these protests, and one of the nice things about them is that it's probably going to be your first time that you get face to face with somebody. You get to really think on your feet,
Mm-hmm.
have fun doing it, or you have fun while you're doing it. But a lot of times this is the first time that a theist has actually met a real live atheist, because we've been demonized by their pastors or what, you know, their clergy people. And so, you know, here's this person, and they walk and talk and breathe, and they're in good spirits, but the nicest thing about going out to these protests is that you do get to sit down and talk to somebody, and you do get to kind of point out some of these fallacies in the Bible. And it's amazing that a lot of times they just say, well, you just have to read the Bible. It's like, I have, dude. I think you need to read the Bible, too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
well, you know, as atheists, though, we take it out of context, so.
Right, yeah.
You don't stand a chance.
But that's another thing. People really don't know what an atheist is. And so that's part of something. Yeah, it gets you out of your comfort bubble, you know, if you go to these protests.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to get out of your comfort bubble. It's just a really important thing for you to do, because mm-hmm. people are not going to like you, period, because you are an atheist. Bottom line.
I tell you, Tammy, when I first put my God is Just Pretend sticker on the bumper of my car, I was terrified.
I bet. I mean, knowing where I used to live in Atlanta, so I mean.
Oh, okay.
I know exactly that takes guts. There's, I don't know if you've ever heard of Randall Gorman. Randy is.
Oh, I was going to ask you about him.
Oh, he is a wonderful, wonderful person. But one of the things that Randy was able to do here is he's got a little red truck, pickup truck,
mm-hmm.
and his license plate says, "No God."
Oh, wow.
You talk about a man who has huevos. I have the most respect for this gentleman. He runs around in Dallas-Fort Worth with a license plate that says, "No God." He's had a couple of incidents
mm-hmm.
where people come and pound on the window, and but other than that, he says it's been no big deal. And I think that's another thing that's been interesting about coming out as an atheist, is that really it's been no big deal. I really have not suffered any from this, other than my parents aren't real thrilled that I'm an activist.
Well, you're lucky, I guess. You haven't had your car keyed up or anything yet?
No.
Oh, that's happened to me. I've had on my door, where I used to live before I moved over here, I had on my door, no Bible thumpers on my door. It got ripped off during Halloween. Isn't that an oxymoronic? I've had my mother's Darwin fish was ripped off of her car. And
we did get our Darwin fish ripped off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They took it off and lovingly placed it down on the ground beside it.
You know something? That's what they do to me most of the time too, Shelly. I wonder why that is. They just lay it there. Sometimes it disappears altogether, but most of the time, yes, they leave it laying right there on the ground so that you can see. Actually, I went to a car shop one time, and I had an American Atheist. I had a Darwin fish. I now have an American Atheist driver's tag thanks to someone who ripped up and bent my Darwin fish plaque on the front of my car.
Egads.
And this was at a car shop.
Yeah, that happened to my husband's vehicle too. Yeah, he took those Darwin fish off at the car shop, which is really weird. It's like
weird.
One time I had a bag kid. I was going out to the car, and he was the bagger, and I had the Darwin fish. He goes, "What's that?" I said, "It's a Darwin fish." Mm-hmm. He said, "Well, that's not good." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm an atheist." And he goes, really? His eyes get really big and wide.
Mm-hmm.
And
they think we're making a mistake. They just can't believe it. They don't, like you said, Shelly, many people out there have not even met an atheist. They hear about us through their clergy.
oh, we're under the influence of Satan.
Oh, yeah, I hear that all the time, too. I asked him, I said, if so, then why am I here? If your God is all-knowing.
My mom and dad had sex. That's why I'm here.
That's one thing I don't understand how Christians could even, that's a whole other thing, but I really don't know how Christians can even get involved in having sexual acts if God is watching all the time. I still haven't figured that one out yet.
As long as you're married, you know.
Even then. I wouldn't want my mom and dad coming in on me and my wife.
No kidding. We protested. Let me get back to what we were doing.
Okay.
We were protesting against the Promise Keepers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Promise Keepers, the reason why we protested against the Promise Keepers is because they want a theocracy. They definitely want to go back to having a country that's based off the ideals of the Bible. And so that's in direct conflict with the separation of church and state.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a real big reason why we were there. But do you know how much it costs for those gentlemen to go to Promise Keepers?
I have no idea.
$70 a person. 70.
Just to do what now?
They spend $70 per person to go to this thing.
And what do they do there?
They basically praise God. And that was one of the things that I kept asking a lot of the participants. I said, what do you get out of coming here? Well, I get to praise God. Well, can't you do that at your own church?
At home.
Well, this is different. I said, how? And
we pay $70.
Well, and you know what? A lot of the churches, the local churches, would pledge that they would buy X number of tickets in order to support the Promise Keepers. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so while we're standing out there, they've got guys running up to us going, come on in. We'll take, you can come on in, we'll feed you, and everything. They wanted us to go in, and it was really very strange.
Wow.
I think another strange thing was they would get prayer circles going around us, and
I was going to ask you about that next.
Huh?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. As a matter of fact, Shelly, you have a few people in the chat room asking about the PK prayer circles.
Do we carry prayer circles? See, I'm trying to get to your website. I can't for some reason. I'm not.
No, I was saying you have a lot of people in the chat room who are mentioning the Promise Keepers prayer circle. So I find that quite interesting that you're.
Oh, what was really fun was when we were at the protest, and of course these Promise Keepers put together a prayer circle, and well, we're a bit irreverent here in Texas, and Randy Gorman fell to the ground and started twitching and speaking in tongues.
Oh, no.
And a friend of ours, Brian McIntosh, he was being saved by my husband, John Hattan. John was going to heal himself and putting his palm on Brian's forehead, and I was behind Brian catching him. And our side of the prayer circle didn't stick around. They didn't keep their hand. They didn't pray for us for very long. They didn't find that very very good. I don't know, but I think that's the number one thing that I did find. If you guys remember, or if you remember earlier in the interview, I talked about how I used to be interested, and I still am interested in protesting against televangelists that are particularly crooked. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I've learned from a Christian group called the Trinity Foundation is that the absolute one thing that really gets under these people's skin is to be ridiculed. And so that, I think, is really going to be our biggest, I guess, ammunition against all of this, is just to really approach everything with a great sense of humor. And just don't take anything too seriously, because it's just, life's too short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's see, what else we talked about here? There's so much that you've been involved in here. You talk about local television stations. You've been interviewed by a few local television stations?
Well, yeah, that was all in connection with a lot of the activism.
Okay, the book cover thing. And
yeah, the book cover thing was big. I mean, it was big. I think I was interviewed by every single station in town.
Wow.
We got covered by the AP Press. And we've had nothing but positive experiences with it. I mean, really, I think one email we got, and that was from a Christian down in Florida. And that's it. That's it. We haven't gotten any hate mail, nothing. We've just gotten nothing but an outpouring of support from the atheist community at large. I mean, everywhere in the United States, we've gotten some form of email saying "good job."
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, part of being an activist, and this is a big challenge with just here locally, is folks tend to kind of look towards people who are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're going to do it, and they'll take care of it. And that's not always going to happen. So if you see something, if anyone out there sees something that really needs to be done, don't be afraid to do it. I mean, there's a little bit of uncomfortableness with coming out, sure. But, man, I'm so much happier being out because I don't have to hide anymore. And it's
mm-hmm.
feel like I'm a much more honest person by being out and being honest to who I am. And it's more fair to folks for them to know too. So,
do you know if they have any maybe section of that the 700 Club I'm talking about? Do you know if they may have part of that or a portion of that interview with you anywhere online in real media format or anything?
Oh, I think it used to be on the CBN station. It was, and now I don't know if it's archived or not.
Okay.
But I think it is. It might be because the lady, her name was Melissa Carbonell.
Mm-hmm.
She said that it was a big story for them. I mean, she's their White House correspondent, and she came down and did the story. And she was actually surprised that more people didn't know about it. CBN.org, I think.
CBN.org, I think that is what it is. Well, for those of you just coming in to listen, we are with Shelly Hattan. She is the current Texas State Director for American Atheists. And we've been talking about a variety of things, such as book covers and activism and some things going on in her part of the nation. And, one thing that we didn't really hit on too much, the Boy Scouts of America, Shelly. How are they able to do what they're doing?
The who of America?
The Boy Scouts.
The Boy Scouts.
Yeah, how are they able to do this? They're discriminating, and they're getting away with it. And have you been keeping up with that case? What's going on?
Oh, basically what's going on with the Boy Scouts of America is they have said that they are a private club, so therefore, since they are private, they can discriminate against anybody that they want to. And that's true. They can.
But I thought they were a private organization, right?
They're a private organization, just like American Atheists is a private organization. We exclude anybody. I mean, you have an atheist in order to be a member.
Okay.
The big problem between the Boy Scouts of America and the difference between the two organizations, between Boy Scouts of America and American Atheists, is the fact that American Atheists, it uses just private funding. Boy Scouts of America uses public funding. They get funded through organizations such as the United Way, and they definitely get government funding.
Mm-hmm.
I know my local police department sponsors an Explorer Troop, which is an offshoot of the Boy Scouts of America. They bought a trailer for $1,800. And I complained, and they said, well, we're doing this to better our young men. And I said, well, young men are also atheists and gay, and you guys don't allow them in. So how is it that my public money can be spent this way? And they just kind of poo-pooed me and ignored me. But that won't go away. I mean, I think if we just keep on keeping on and make people understand that, you know, when people say things about atheists, then you're discriminating against us. It's just, if you can substitute another word in there for it. I mean, it's just as derogatory as if you were to say someone, you know, a black or a gay person. I mean, we get discriminated against. So since the Boy Scouts of America get public money, and they're trying to claim that they are a private group, that they can't have it both ways. And so what happens is, in each and every local council for the United Way, they get to decide where the money goes, okay? Which means that you cannot just go to a national organization or the national level of United Way and say, hey, look, stop funding these people. What you have to do is you have to go to your council and you have to convince your council that this policy is bad. Not only, another thing that's very interesting is that our local United Way has a policy which states that you cannot or it will not provide funding for a group that discriminates against a religious group. And we are a non-religious group, but we're being discriminated. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I've noticed that, especially you have schools here, when you have these Boy Scout troops, these, I don't even know, I've never been part of the Boy Scouts, but you see these leaders recruiting at these public schools.
Right, and that's a public, they're using public buildings for a private school. And you can't have it both ways. You just can't. And I think that the Boy Scouts of America are going to have to eventually just give it up and let gays and atheists and just not discriminate against people. Because I mean, they're just teaching to discriminate against gays and atheists, and that's a great moral to impart to our nation's young people.
Yeah, elitism. Yeah, you can't beat it.
Yeah. So, oh goodness, I'm trying to think. There's so much. Yeah. There's just so much. But what happened was I haven't gone very far with the United Way in our local group. But there have been other areas, like out in California, where the other, I think in California and Philadelphia, they have been successful in convincing their councils to no longer fund the Boy Scouts in their area until the Boy Scouts of America changes their policy. So that's a good thing. There are some councils that are doing the right thing. I think it's going to be very difficult for me here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to do it, mainly because the national headquarters is in Irving, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. So, but I'll try. I'll keep on trying. And that's really, perseverance is really the key to all of this.
Yeah, and it sounds like you definitely have been persevering.
Well,
and motivates me.
It helps that my husband's active with me. It definitely helps because we get to go off and do these things together. I'm not by myself like Randy Gorman. Randy has been dubbed the lonely guy by our local newspaper because he goes out and he protests all these groups, and a lot of times he's like the only person standing there with a sign. And so
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, Tammy. How many members do you have currently?
For Metroplex Atheists, we used to have about 5 people show up on a continual basis, and I'd say we have about 20 that show up to the meetings. Now then, I've got like 60 people on our email list, and that's like doubled since I first started the email list.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool. And I think it's really neat that folks see that it's kind of an interesting thing. Now, activism is not for everybody, and I don't poo-poo people who choose not to do it, because it's not an easy thing. You really are sticking your neck out. But it's worthwhile, and one of the things that I definitely have tried to do is whenever we do an activistic activity, that when we do it, the reason is very clear as to why we are protesting, and that is so very important. Because if you don't do that, then you come off as just a loudmouth atheist, and we already have that stigma to us already. And of course, there's always going to be people who don't understand and don't get the message, but you're not really there for those folks. You're there for the folks that are willing to listen and get a good idea, or, and you may be able to get through to some. And a lot of times, most times you don't.
Yeah. I think education, is where it all lies. I'm happy to admit that I've deconverted over 100 people to reason, and I know it's possible.
That's great.
I just maybe need to know exactly how to talk to people, what to present to them, and let them make up their own minds, and let's not force it down people's throats, and just educate. Now,
do you do that one-on-one, or do you do it
one-on-one?
Really?
One-on-one. A lot of people actually stumble into the site, and they want to pray for me, and I say, sure, call me at 404, blah, blah, blah. And they call me, and they leave. Most of the individuals who have called me to pray for me have wound up becoming agnostic in the process. Many have contacted me back a year or so later and have told me that they're atheists now. And the website actually has a lot to do with that. Even before the show, I've had a lot of people tell me that I don't know if you've bumped into it, Shelly, but have you seen the questions about God list?
Nope.
Well, it's pretty popular. I allow individuals who have questions about God to send me their best questions that theists have difficulty answering, and I post them there. In other words, it's pretty much a Socratic argument I'm utilizing on the website. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Well, okay. I guess an hour is almost up here. We're at the top of the hour.
Wow.
And for those individuals who have just come in, you can stay or hang around for about 20 or so minutes, and the archive show of this live show will be up shortly. Shelly, would you like to leave anything with the listeners?
Well, I just encourage everybody, if you're interested in getting active, you don't have to just wait for a group to come around. You can always do it on an individual basis, and it's worthwhile, and you do reach people, and I just really encourage you guys to do it. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, great. And Tammy, I'm sorry, I'm about to talk to Tammy. I'm reading some of her posts here in the chat room. She's really interesting. And she says hi, by the way.
Okay.
Also, Shelly, for any of our listeners that may be in your area, how would they contact you?
You go to www.metroplexatheists.org. And that one really shows that we keep that one updated quite regularly.
Okay.
As opposed to the state director page. So. Okay,
great. And if some of the people chatting and some of the people listening in, if you go to the audio show page there, you can see the link to Metroplex Atheists there. Well, Shelly, thank you for coming on to the show in such short notice.
Okay, no problem.
And had a great time, and I hope you can stay in touch. And if you ever need me for anything, the Infidel Guy will be here.
Great.
Okay, Shelly, thanks, and I'll see you. Maybe tune in this weekend. We're going to have Tammy Lynn Jessup appear on the show Saturday.
Oh, great.
And she's going to talk about her Christian prostitution business that she runs for pastors. So, have you heard of Tammy?
I'm sorry?
Have you heard of Tammy?
No.
Oh, okay. She said hi. I thought you probably knew her, but
nope.
But this is going to be interesting, so maybe you can hang around and check it out Saturday. But okay, I'll talk to you another time. Thanks for being on the show. And to the guests, to the listeners, thank you all for stopping by. And if you have any guests that you could think of that you would like to appear on the show, have them contact me at infidelguy@aol.com. Spread the words. Remember, this is not only my show, but it is your show. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all tomorrow.